Hey guys, I'm Nikema Lee. I'm a florist and I like pop culture. I also love soap operas because I need somebody to talk to about the things that are going on in my head when I watch the show. And if you're having the same thoughts that I'm having, let's talk. Join me as we recap Beyond the Gates. Hey guys, welcome to Behind the Gates episode recap, episode 23. We're going to be talking about $50,000. We're going to talk about why we all need to get behind the Kill Bill. And we're going to be talking about what's really going on with Martin and Smitty's children. Check us out. All right, guys, let's talk about episode 23 of Beyond the Gates. Now, Martin and Smitty are really going through it with the kids. I talked about it in my last video. If you let a lie fly, they're going to keep lying. And that's all they did in this episode was lie on top of lie. Now, I will give it to Martin and Smitty. They did try to investigate. They did try to get to the bottom of things. And they did come up with the ultimate what was going on, which was their son is being bullied, but not really being bullied, because I was under the impression that he was being bullied as well, because I was like, oh, he's got two dads, it makes sense, he's being bullied, but really he's being sexually exploited in a way. Now, the way that the story came out is like he was putting on his pants and he was in his like not so cute underwear, and he didn't say somebody took his phone. He said somebody took a picture with his phone. So I'm still trying to figure out, like, how did that person get your phone in order to take the picture? And then how did they know the girl's number to send it to? Like, people don't remember phone numbers no more. So for them to know her phone number, text it to her, and for you to not then get in trouble for fighting the person who took the picture of you, because that's where the incident should have stemmed from. It should have stemmed from, we got into a fight because he took a picture of me in a very intimate, inappropriate fashion, and then I punched him in the face, or I beat him up and we got into a fight. The fact that you let somebody take your phone, let somebody take a picture of you, let somebody then take that picture and text it to somebody else, and still nothing, crickets in between the time that they took the picture and sent it to that girl and the girl's girlfriend, the boyfriend of the girlfriend, found out, and the fact that he then took action immediately and came after you and punched you in your face. There's some holes in that story. There's too many holes in that story. But if that's what you're telling me, then that's what you're telling me. I'm going to believe it until I see different. But I got my spotty radar is up. The kids are cute. They do what they can. And Martin and Smitty are really trying. I hate the fact that Martin brought up the fact that if the kids are going through something, you don't need to go back to work. I was like, dang, Martin, that man wants to work. The fact that you were out here soliciting and making sure that he don't work is absolutely ridiculous. But I digress. They're gonna go through it. I feel like the kids are smart enough to know that keeping a secret from their parents is not wise, because their dad's an investigative journalist. Their other dad is a congressman. They're down to find out. So I feel like it's going to play out in a very weird way, but also in a almost to an anticlimactic way. I feel like the story is not going to parachute off the cliff like we want it to, but I feel like the lies and stuff are going to ultimately come up. Or if I was in the writer's room, I would have the revenge be like super brutal, i.e. he pulls a gun on him and shoots the jock in the face or something like that. Something mind-blowing, right? That's how it should play itself out. It's too many holes in the story for it to really go anywhere. But, that's what I think. Martin and Smitty. We'll talk more about them a little bit later. Okay. This man has got an addiction. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Dr. McBride. Dr. McBride and his wife, do they ever go home? I have yet to see them in a home together. I have yet to see them. What's their house looking like? Do they live in a townhouse? They look like the townhouse type of people. I don't know if they got townhouses beyond the gates, because she lives in the community. So I'm assuming she's got a fancy jancy. So they need to build her at least a kitchen or something, or a living room set or something. Anyway, they're at the Uptown, the neighborhood restaurant, and they run into dun, 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 Joe. And he comes in there scrolling like he's some big shot. Oh, thank you for the houses that you bought, that you picked out for my mom. They perfect. We should go look at them. And her giddy self, there was some, oh, join us for lunch. Pull up a chair. And Dr. McBride is like, hey, Joe, how you doing? It's nice to meet you. Like they've never met before, right? And she's like, why are you acting so strange? He was like, that man is a gangster. You're talking about having coffee with a gangster. Do you know what kind of man that is? She was like, well, if he was a patient in your hospital, would you reject him? He was like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. But no, I wouldn't. She's like, well, I mean, I'm just a realtor. I'm just showing them houses. What do you go so upset about? So at any point, this is going to blow up in his face and that he's out there spending money. And then he almost got caught up because Dr. Nicole came around. Was like, hey, for you to be at the hospital so much, I never see you. And his wife was like, you never see her? And he was like, I never see her. Was about to get busted. But anyway, then he's like, yeah, let's do lunch. She's like, yeah, let's have lunch. And he's like, absolutely. That man is never at work. The crazy part about him never being at work is that nobody else has called and say, hey, Dr. McBride, where are you? You know what I mean? There's been no sort of miscommunication with the hospital, nothing. Like she ain't showing up, to bring him dinner, which would be what I would do. Oh, you're at the house. I want to see you. I love you. I'm going to bring you a picnic basket full of sandwiches. Just after your surgery, we could just chat. I know you don't have time, but 10 minutes to spend with me is best, babe. That's what I would do, just so that I can see what the fuck is going on. Because if I'm asleep every time you come home at night, something is wrong. I don't care if you're, the master surgeon for the CNC or cyanide, and all your clients are $1 million clients. I don't care. Something, you gotta spend some time with me or something. You got to make this lie right. And or hey, take me to the casino with you. I might be able to play cards better than you. But anyway, I feel like the whole Dr. McBride thing, because Joe came back, his friend is really trying to help him, and he just keep coming back. His friend is like, man, go home. Ain't nothing good gonna come from you being here. He like, no, I'm about to double my money, baby. Double my money. And he like, no, you not. No, you're not. You just not. So go home. Your wife is, he was like, nah, I was with my wife an hour ago. Try again, buddy. He's like, dang. And then Joe is like, listen, I see what you're trying to do. Do it again. That's going to be the end of you. And like his friend, he's just trying it. But Joe said something that was really interesting. He said, he is a part of my plan. And I'm trying to figure out what's his plan, because he's involved his wife, right? So like, what's his ultimate goal with Dr. McBride? So let's keep a pin in that.
Okay,
we're gonna have to revisit
all
that
those in favor
by Joe
of killing Bill.
Dr. McBride and
Say
his wife. Yeah, they on the outs. This
real.
Man has no morals whatsoever, and I love it. There's two things I know about Bill to be true. He is 90s fine. He fine. He big. He got broad shoulders, big chest. Like, I feel like I could just lay up on him and be like, oh, and he tells me beautiful things about me. You know what I mean? I love him. I love him for his gaslighting of his wife. Like, oh, baby, you're so beautiful, and you're the only woman that I love, and you're just a great. And I was like, oh, Bill, I see why Danny is like addicted to you and she can't leave and she don't know what to do with herself. And I see how Haley just fell in love with you, because you say all the right things, honey. You say all the right things. But honey, he just be gaslighting the tomahawk out that lady. I'm talking about, oh, you're so great, you're so beautiful. And then the whole, like, when I say he has no morals, the fact that he took that personal information from that lady, right? And knowing that, see, the loophole is he wasn't representing either one of them, right? But she said something that ticked him off, i.e., your daughters don't love you anymore, so therefore you must be a bad person anyway. You know what it's like. And he was like, first of all, one, you don't know me like that. Two, I got something for you. So he was like, okay, tell me everything. Trust me. And then went back and said, listen, I will represent you because I know just how to win. Is that not devilish. That man is a hot mess, which ain't nothing wrong with being a hot mess if you're an attorney, because a hot mess attorney will let you win, i.e. Johnny Cochran. That's what I'm saying. He just absolutely, um, he's a, I don't want to say he's a monster, but he definitely, he makes you question, but he'll be the best attorney for you. 50-50, 6 in one hand, half a dozen the other. That's how I feel about Bill. And since we're talking about Bill, can we take a minute to talk about Haley? Now, the woman that came in there, she saw the lady hugging up on her. Now, the seed that she was no good in the office has already been dropped in her brain by Naomi. So she's seeing this lady hugging up on her husband, telling him how great he is, telling him how much he's helped her. She's like, oh, who this Harper? Who this woman? That's what she did. She was like, nothing. This here my client. She really not my client. I'm just faking her out to be my client. But she was really like upset. And I'm like, sis, you do know how you lose him is how you got him. How you lose him the same way you got it. So yes, you do need to have your spidey senses up, but it's too early in the relationship. It took Dan 20-something years before he started stepping out on her. Listen, you've got to really like calm down, bring it down a notch, like relax. You really should be living a soft life. You working too hard to be this man's wife. Like, just relax, sis. Everything is good. You still should be at home cooking in a nightie. You understand what I'm saying? That man should come home and you should be half dressed with a turkey leg in your hand. Like, what are we talking about here? You're doing too much. You're doing too much. You jealous of somebody. You jealous of this. You jealous of that. Everything is an issue with you. You running up in people's faces. You demanding stuff from folks. You want people to like you. Like, sit down and go order something out of a catalog. Go to some fashion show. Go do something that soft wives do. Go golf. I would spend my whole day at the country club, spying it up. I'm spying it up. My hair laid. I'm getting facials every day. I'm getting massages every day. Because you know what? At night, I'm busting it open. I'm doing all of the things. I'm reading legal briefs still. I'm still, trying to make sure that the business is going okay. Now, when the sense of like the lawsuit ain't none of my business, I'll try to come up with some ideas. But I ain't going out there to talk to the opposing attorney. Talk about, I used to be your friend. No, sit down. Everybody say it with me. Sit down. 1, 2, 3. Sit down. That's what Haley should do. She should sit down. Okay. The rest of this video is dedicated to the diva herself. Miss Leslie, Anna, Dana, Sherry. Like, this lady got more names than a nigga going to jail. I don't know who she is. Listen, so much came out this episode. If you haven't seen episode 23, spoiler alert when it comes to, I'm going to call her Dana because Tim called her Dana. So I'm assuming that Dana is her real name, right? Or that's the name that he know her by, because I got a feeling she ain't even who she say she is with Tim. I really think she's sinister. The fact that she told him that she was pregnant, he sent her money to get rid of the baby. She then replied, I got rid of the baby, but it was so much emotional trauma that I don't know how to live my life anymore. Therefore, I must be financially compensated for my grief. And Tim said, you know what? I know it's hard. So yes, I'm going to give you some money. And before you ask me for anything else, here's my attorney, and he's going to tell you to get the hell out of town. Right? She took the money. She said, I got rid of the baby. She took the money, right? And proceeded to live her whole happy life, right? Now, she did have an ex-husband. That little girl did have a stepdaddy. So there was a man, and he did die, allegedly, because we don't know. That man could still be alive. She could have killed him because she ran old girl off the road, right? The assistant, so that her daughter could get the job. I didn't mention that before, but if you this far deep into the episode, you already know she is a trifling, evil, murderous woman. She could have murdered her husband too, because she obviously didn't like him the way she talked about him like he was a dog. And I'm thinking to myself, the stepdaughter, she seemed like he did the best he can with what he could, so he couldn't have been that bad. But I digress. So Tim is like, what do you want? Why are you talking to my daughter? Why are you running up in my wife's office? Why? What is up with you? Is it money? What do you want? She was like, well, since you asking, drop them 50 stacks on us. 50 stacks? $50,000. It made me think of that meme that say $40. $40. $50,000. Which to a plastic surgeon, I would say that's just a breast augmentation, to be honest with you. But he also say if he takes out $50,000, which he didn't say he couldn't, he just said that it would set off bells and whistles at the bank. So I'm thinking how he's gonna handle it, because I know Bill was his attorney, because Bill is scrupulous. Bill, quote unquote, was the family attorney. So she gonna go run over to Bill and say, hey, I need $50,000. Here's a cashier's check, or here's a whatever. I need you to bill me for $50,000 worth of services, or whatever you're going to bill me for in services. And then I could just pay you, incrementally, so that I don't, come up with there's going to be an excuse, but I feel like Bill's going to be involved into my story, into my rant. Right. And she goes running out of here like, you missed the fireworks today, sweetheart. You think your father, he's just trying to just pay me $50,000 to make us go away. She's like, I was going to pay you money. Like, she was genuinely disappointed. Like, he would just throw money at the problem just to get rid of it. But that's not the case. He doesn't know anything about her, right? Because he thinking she never existed, because she done told him she never existed. I mean, it's like we know she lying, but I just feel like there's so much more to the pool of this lie that it's just gonna get deeper and deeper before we get to the bottom of it. You hear me? So she goes back and forth. Now, Kat is talking to this lady last episode like, this ain't really none of your business. Why are you all in my business with this girl? I don't care. I got an agenda. This girl is evil. She's mean. What she really is, the spidey sense that's going on is that my sister. Or there's something going on. Like, she knows that there's something going on. She can't quite place it. But she coming off like an idiot. She coming off like a fool. Because what's really happening now is that she keeps setting these traps. And it's like, everybody's like, why you so gung-ho for this girl? Like, she did nothing to you, and you just coming out the woodworks, just coming at this girl like, for what? And old girl got her. She's like, I see a camera. Let me get out of here. You gonna catch me? I see what you did there. Let me go ahead and erase that. Let me go ahead and delete that. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. But I know it's TV, and it's got to play TV. But by the time she ran into that office, ain't but so big. The door wide open. You could see right through it. You see me run up in there. You see me take your phone. You see me delete the thing. You see me put it back, and you still don't come out until your parents come out. I'm supposed to believe that. I'm supposed to let that be what you think. And I paid attention to it all. So when she came off, threw her coat off, threw down her purse, she didn't throw down her phone. Still had the charger connected to it. She didn't have a charger because she was looking for a charger. Now, it could have been the charger from the car that she just pulled and snatched out of the entire car. Let me believe what I believe, right? So she's out there. She throws the phone down. She throws the car. She deletes everything. Now she's like, girl, you got to be quicker than that. You got to be quicker than that. If you're trying to catch me, hairdresser 1, bougie behind the gates girl 0. So I'm rooting for Eva, because I feel like she doesn't know the extent of her mother's deception. But I also feel like she is genuinely trying to have a relationship with her father. I feel like she genuinely wants to have a relationship with Nicole and with Kat. Like, if she could, she would. You know what I'm saying? And they may end up being thick as thieves, especially after Kat throws her cat at Tomas and it don't work out like she wanted to. I feel like there's going to be something, and maybe even a love triangle between those three. And they might even have a little cat fight. Like, there's a lot that can happen with those two characters. But I really feel like at the end of the day, they're going to be sisters, and they need to get along at some point. I really feel like that's going to be what comes out of it. But $50,000? You crazy. I'd have handed her ass up right at the door. It's you crazy. Ain't no goddamn way I'm about to give you $50,000. What? Plus, I already gave you money, and then for that to be right, like, they're coming out the anniversary party. She gonna come out with all of the secrets, right? And it's like, how you think he gonna react to something you said you got rid of? How do you honestly think he gonna react to that? Like, this automatically reminded me of the whole Anthony Edwards situation. How he told that girl he did not want a baby, right? Both of them had unprotected sex. She didn't take the morning after pill. She didn't use a female condom. She didn't let him take out, do the pull out method. Nobody in between the two of them had two brains, right? She ends up saying, I'm pregnant, right? He was like, listen, here's some money, do your thing. She was like, no, she took the money. From one story that I understood, she took the money, but then she changed her mind. Now, she is in her late 30s. She's like 38, I think. If she's not 38, she's 32. It's a wide span, but she in her 30s, almost 40 years old, I believe. So I can understand not doing it, but everybody's blaming her, and then everybody's blaming him. I'm blaming both of them. They did some stupid things, but that story kind of brings me back to, if the person says they don't want it and then they pay for you to get rid of it, and you agree, because the other thing is that she said she did, i.e. she said she agreed to it, and then she don't. That I got a problem with that. Like, you on your own at that point. There's nothing that I can do for you, because we've talked about it, we've agreed with it, and you did not follow the plan. So therefore, this is you on your own. I feel that way. Might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like it's a more common sense approach to the situation. But anyway, I'm cool with it. I really am. I feel like this is gonna blow up in a really way, because it was a lot of foreshadowing. Did you see? Don't leave me. You've always been the best wife and the perfect family. And I was like, Tim, if you don't get out of here with that bull, if you don't get out of here with that bullshit, because boy, your life didn't blow the fuck up. Life is getting ready to blow up. And let me tell you, when it blow, Nicole gonna be looking at you sideways, because she not gonna hear. All she gonna know is you had a baby. And the fact that you had a baby at a time where she dropped that nugget, I was trying to have a baby. I thought we were not going to make it because I was trying to have a baby. And then for you to go and then have another baby with another person, she's going to tear up in the inside. All her psychology training going to have to kick in, because she going to be a hot mess. She thinks Danny a hot mess. She going to be off the wall. She going to be ready. She going to be Nicole's the kind of person that's going to be throwing shit onto the walls. She going to be, you think her sister be a drunk? She out for murder, because things like that don't happen for her. Things like that don't happen to her, because she's perfect. She'll crash out. She gonna crash out. You hear me? But I digress. I really feel like it's gonna be something when it happens. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all hit me back in the comments. What y'all think is gonna be worse? Her finding out that Tim has a daughter? Her finding out that she is as old as Kat, and she was conceived when they were trying to have a baby, and that was a level of betrayal. It's gonna be juicy, Lord. If you are not watching Behind the Gates, what are you doing with your life? Come here for the recaps, honey. Let's talk about it, because you know who we haven't seen, girl Ashley in a minute, and Derek and Dre. Where are they at? They probably out. I don't know what they doing. And then Ernestine, her real name is Ernestine. I think her name is the nurse. Ernestine, her husband is the Black Wall Street guy. I can't remember what her character name is, but y'all know who I'm talking about. I wonder where she at. They need to bring her back. I like her. Like, ain't no reason. I just like her. And she need a job. Everybody need a little job. But anyway, so now that we've talked about the recap, make sure you listen. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so that you can get an up-to-date and know when I'm going to upload and a new episode hits, right? Now, let's talk about the flowers. Let's talk about the flowers, y'all. First thing I noticed in this particular episode was a lot of indoor plants. Now, there's one plant, little fig tree over by the window in Nicole's office, right? And it had a little bit of a spotlight on it. So I'm going to use my imagination, open up my brain, and say that they had a UV light for the plant. Now, here's the thing. That plant is right next to the window. So technically, it doesn't need a light. Now, that's probably lighting for the sake of the show, just so that it can have some brightness in that corner and you can see that it's a plant. But I feel like using UV lights at night when a plant is in its natural cycle of sunrise, sunset, because they follow the same cycle as the planet, right? So if you have an artificial light where that plant in a sense never sleeps, could be a problem for the plant long term. Like, the plant is expending so much energy because it's never resting. So I would always say, if you're going to use a UV light, only use it because you don't have a natural light source in the particular area that you're in. So the plant never knows that the sun is out. So the only reason why you're using it is to give it six to 8 hours of sun. Outside of that, let that plant rest at night and don't put no UV light on it. The other thing is, if you look, she's got a beautiful window box flower, a flower window box right outside of the windows in her office. Now, I know what y'all thinking. How do people get these window boxes that look so pretty? Well, they're fake flowers, honey. They're silks, they're faux, they're artificial, whatever you want to call them, that's what they are. And that is your best bet. Use the artificial flowers for those because it's simple. You don't have to water it. You may have to like wash them off as like pollen and stuff accumulates on them, but they're an excellent way to get a very fresh look consistently. So get yourself a floral box. And if you're gonna get a floral box, go ahead and use the artificial flowers. Now, if you are the type of person that has the luxury to really take care of the flowers in your flower box, then get your perennials and let your thing do its thing. Now, to get a lot of hanging or creeping green plants, they're always pretty nice, but I say don't bypass all of that. Just go ahead and get you some fake flowers, some silk flowers, and put it in your flower box and enjoy your flowers. Now, the trick is changing them out as the seasons change and as the occasions change. And that means putting Easter baskets and Easter bunnies in there, putting pumpkins and making more foliage flowers in the winter. So there's a lot. Putting your Christmas lights, things like that. You utilize them as the seasons go by, right? Red, white, and blue for July, stuff like that. But you got it. You know, that's what we want to do. Okay, I also want to talk about, I think I might be prejudiced. Here's the thing. I do feel like gay men need to have flowers in their house. It's not funny. I'm just saying. I feel like gay men should have flowers in their house. Not that I'm saying that gay men are more florally. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in my brain, I feel like gay men would have flowers in their house. And these two gay men don't have flowers. And they're very, like, Smitty comes off as a more softer part of the relationship. Not saying that he has to be soft, like he has to have flowers and it represents flowers, but I just feel like there should be an arrangement or something in the corner. You know, like Martin should be bringing him flowers home or something. But they do have plants. They have a beautiful succulent plant that's over on the bookshelf in the back, right? Beautiful succulent plant. It's probably an artificial for the show, but a nice succulent. I feel like it's good. It's very low maintenance, not a lot of care required. Not a lot of sunlight required. They do have a window, so I'm assuming there's a good amount of natural sunlight that comes in during the day. So I say, yeah, it's a good idea to have a plant. And the fact that it's so long tells me they've had that plant for a few years. So it's really good. They've got it up on the bookshelf. It's got a long, dramatic tail. So it's a great thing to have. Now, they do have another plant. It is an artificial plant. It looks horrible on television because you can see the vein and the vining. Like their fake tree that's in front of Uptown, where Dana and I don't even know what to call it. Where Dana and Tim were talking, you could see there was a fake tree. I digress. But the plant, I feel like the succulent way back off camera, perfect to be artificial. But the plant that's actually in the shot, in the scene, could use to be an artificial plant. Now, I don't know if it's a budget thing where they don't want to pay somebody to come and dress the set every day, but I feel like if they're shooting, 2 or 3 episodes a week, maybe I don't know what the shooting schedule is like, but I feel like there are certain spaces like that plant that is right there in the middle of the shot between Smitty and Martin when they're talking in the living room deserves a real plant. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And if at the end of the shoot day, somebody just takes that plant and sticks it in a grow room so it can get its sunlight, it can get its water, it can get its hydration, it can get all of the things, and then goes back into the set box because there's no light, there's no air, there's no nothing, right? I mean, there's air, obviously. But I feel like that's you know, don't know how much that would cost to pay a person to be a on-set flower dresser, but if you're hiring, I got you. I feel like from a production standpoint, me having to compel a director or a producer or whoever, like, yeah, that it needs to be a real plant right there. Just like I talked about that orchid in the earlier episodes, the orchid that's in the Dupree's house, like that just needs to be a real orchid. You can tell it's fake, and it looks fake. It doesn't look real, and we want as much realness in the room as possible. So I honestly think that it should be a real plant there, and you'll see it. When you see it, you'll see it. The last thing is the casino. Why do I think it needs some plants in the casino? Because it's an indoor space where people are drinking and talking, and I feel like there may be some cigar smoking going on in there. They need some air purifying plants. One, to just bring a little bit of brevity and life into the room so it doesn't look so despair. But even though that is the energy of the room, it's not supposed to be a place of hope. But you have to give your patrons a sense of hope. The people who are playing cards, they got to look around and see that there's life in here, to see that there's possibility in here. That's how they keep playing. That's how you get them to keep coming back, is you give them this sense of hope and opportunity, and you take it away with your magical cards. Johnny, I'm just saying, quit playing with that man. Let that man live. But anyway, I digress. So those are my flower options. Listen, we are here. We are beyond the gates. We are loving the show. If you are following the show and you would like to comment and commentary, just go ahead and comment below. We are having a great time watching the show. And this is episode 23, Beyond the Gates. This is your girl, Nikema Lee. I love talking flowers and pop culture. All right, bye.